Hey everybody, welcome to Advantage 1 RV here just down the street from Haylett RV, where we have coming in a little 192 RBS EverGreen Ascend, just a little bit over 3,600 pounds, which is pretty darn light considering it's got tandem axles and a 7.6 wide narrow body and a great wind sweeping profile. If you're looking for a solo or little couples camper that is in good shape, but you have a limited tow capacity, you want to tow small, but you want to tow comfortably, those tandem axles are going to be fantastic. This is going to be an amazing towing little rig. Now, we are a family-owned and operated place, so our business name is literally my family name. I'm one of the owner's sons, so it is like a really big deal for us to really conduct ourselves with decency and integrity. So one of the first things I actually want to tackle on in here is that there are two areas in this floor where the top layer of the laminated floor sandwich has popped up a little bit. My guess is because there's so much aluminum used in the construction of this product. Aluminum has a very high rate of expansion and contraction when it gets hot and cold, and this was a Midwestern-owned RV. I believe it came from Illinois, where it was used quite a bit, although apparently they're around here now since we have it listed. But as a result, a lot of that expansion and contraction can really kind of stress things in a laminated sandwich, and it looks like in a few of the higher traffic areas, the top layer of that kind of popped upward. Now, here's the funny thing. This is not a soft floor. The floor isn't failing. It's the top layer actually just kind of popped and buckled up, which is not what you usually run into with laminated floors. And I really want to take a moment to point out that distinction, because this is a well-built camper. This was a cool brand that did a lot of really fun things. I always really liked them. But you might be driving for multiple hours away. And I want you to know that when you get here, what you see on this video is exactly what you're going to see when you check the RV in person. And if you appreciate that, hit the subscribe button, follow along with us right here. Let's see what I'm talking about. Because the thing is, if you're just looking around in here, it looks like the phrase "like new," I think it's overused too much, but this one I think really is deserving of that. Because if I just took pictures, I could walk around in this video, I could do and say nothing, and you wouldn't even realize it till you got here. And then you'd be like, well, you suckers, you got me, but yeah, I guess I'll still take it. And I don't want you to begrudgingly work with us. I want you to really choose, and I want to earn your business. There's two spots here, and you can kind of see, let me get up close. You can see how my foot is pushing down on that a little. But the thing is, this is solid. It is super solid, the entire floor. The top layer of Luan in the laminated floor sandwich has just kind of peeled up from that, right? So I guess you could say it's like a bubble in that sense. Similarly, back here, right in front of the bathroom, there is a, if I can find it, it was hard to find. Well, and again, it's so small, I even know it's there, and I'm having a hard time finding it. But again, my goal here is not to make a mountain out of a molehill. But, you know, there's a lot of money on the line. And I want you to know that you're exactly what you're getting and that you can buy with confidence from our family-owned and operated team right here. Because it's not our decision if that's a big deal or not. It's really yours. I will do the best that I can to always educate you to the best of my ability. I don't think it's a really big deal. I'm about a 200-pound dude stomping around in here. I don't feel for years it would ever be a big deal, even if I use the RV very regularly, which this was not used a great deal. So if that is a spooky thing for you, I hope you appreciate the fact that we went right out of our way to show you that. And again, I think it is pretty minor. And if you hang with me, you're going to see there's a lot of really good stuff going on in this camper. This thing is cool. And really what's kind of cool here is this floor plan is very common in the industry, but almost never found on a slightly larger tandem axle platform like this one. So nice, safe, easy towing. Usually you find layouts like this in single axles. Like a good example is a 19 FD Rockwood Geo Pro or a 16 FQ Wolf Pup. This is basically just a slightly inflated 2-axle version of something like that. But EverGreen was really ahead of the curve on a lot of like small little details, like those privacy curtains you're seeing there. With the 7.6 wide body, that Camp Queen there has room to comfortably walk around it. You could probably swap that up to a True Queen if you're so inclined. There's naturally full storage below that. And speaking of storage, storage is really the biggest thing that you're going to get in this RV as compared to a lot of those little single axle jobs that I just mentioned. When the RV keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, all of that cabinet space has to get, further and further reduced. And they don't have that challenge here. You see that little flip-up countertop extension right there? And a convection microwave oven located down where you would expect to find a normal oven. And that means that this overhead cabinet space above the sink is just wide open for storage. But I don't want to forget, just across the way over here above the dinette, there's also a nice chunk of storage space over there. And what really struck me here is everything in the RV industry, it's always so bland and so boxy, and everything in this RV has some kind of cool radius, edge, or curve. There's no carpet, there's no floor heating vents. It's a really smart, in a lot of ways. I think this camper was actually maybe a little too far ahead of its time, because most of what I'm pointing out, a lot of this stuff is very common by today's standards, but was exceptionally uncommon when this was first made. You've got that combination stereo DVD unit over there. TV, I like that the previous owners left a TV mount in place, by the way, so you don't got to guess where to mount one of those. And you see how, look at the top of that cabinet. You see how the ceiling grows up from that? That's because this does have a front to back vaulted ceiling, which is what gives it that really cool shape and character from the outside area there. Now again, for storage purposes, next to that refrigerator, you've got that like bonus closet and or pantry. It could be kitchen drawers, they could be dresser drawers. You could use it however you want. I mentioned a little countertop extension. There's a lot of things on this that, once again, I think were nicely ahead of its time, or just really well planned and executed. Great little solo or couples model. And now the bathroom, because of the shape of the RV, is seemingly unconventional, but once again, exceptionally well executed. Some really good countertop space in here. I love those open storage pocket cubbies next to the stool. And just to give you an idea how big this medicine cabinet is, it's large enough you can literally store rolls of toilet paper in there. So it's good for more than just the Maybelline, or the bottles of Lipitor. You've got a window over here across from the shower, which obviously has a privacy shade. But what's nice about that is you can tilt that frameless window open, and you can ask the neighbors if you got all the soap off your back when you're, in the shower. Like, hey, Earl, did I get that? And he'll be like, sure thing, Gary. Anyway, that's never mind that. Now you see back here, this is where the radius kind of vaulted area of the roofing is the most exaggerated. And thankfully they put the shower forward in that curb, which is, I think, a pretty good creative solution to actually give you some decent headroom in there. And I don't usually do this on used RVs. I'm actually going to jump in there so you can really see how much space there is. And actually, it's a little tight. But even for a bigger person like me, I could get through a weekend in this. When I stand straight up, obviously my head's in the bubble, but based upon where the shower head is located right over here, right in front of the camera as you're looking at it, it's organic. It makes sense. And also, taller people like me, I think we're pretty much accustomed to ducking through things most of our life. It's just one of those things, if I wanted a small trailer, but I wanted the nice towing of that tandem axle, this just kind of goes with the territory. Personally, it's a concession I'm willing to make, but that's a decision for you. Also, maybe not my finest angle here, but in terms of toilet space, this is pretty good. I can touch the door up here, but it ain't very often you're sitting on the toilet and you got to stretch your legs out quite that far. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know your fiber intake.
And man, I tell you what, I'm glad we got a nice camper to look at here today, because the weather's absolute trash. 2 days ago it was 70 degrees. Today it's 34 and like snotty, sleety, rainy, all that kind of stuff. You probably don't care. You don't need a weather report. You want to learn about the camper, right? I always get on off topic like that. Anyway, taking a look at this thing. You see it's got a very kind of different profile. Most travel trailers are very boxy. This has a nice kind of swept shape. But they did a good job of giving you the biggest awning they possibly could to still fit on that profile. Once again, it's 22 feet tip to tail, 22 and some inches obviously, but 22 feet tip to tail, tongue to bumper. So that is the full true length. It's only about 3,600 pounds, slightly over that, and with tandem axles, not to mention the fact that the previous owners are including their Recurve R3 hitching system with the sale of this camper, plus a bunch of other accessories. Looks like they're basically just done camping. this is going to be a very comfortable, easy towing rig. If you've got, say, like a minimum 5,000 pound tow rating and anything like, 5,500, 6,000 or more, you're going to handle this very nice and comfortably. And again, it is 7.6 wide, which is a little unconventional size. Like, just to kind of, I'm going to back up a little bit, and you can see the size difference compared to a Rockwood Mini Lite, which is generally considered a pretty small trailer out there. And when you see them by comparison, you go, ooh, yeah, this is smaller. This is going to tow very nicely. You know what this would be great for? Like, if you've got like a Toyota Tacoma, a Ford Ranger, a Canyon, or a Colorado, this would be an awesome little setup for something like that. You've got the good-looking frameless windows over here, because again, this, for its time, this was one of those kind of snazzier, upscale, ultralight brands. The tires are looking good. They're not, like Goodyear's or anything like that, but I don't see irregular use. I don't see anything concerning there. I was a little worried when I saw something this size, like how much clearance would there be for like the sewer pipes and stuff, but I actually think that you're gonna do just fine there. Let me get you down here to explain why I say that. Because you look at it, you say, I don't know, is there enough ground clearance down there? If you draw a straight line from the bottom of that tire to the bottom of that jack, the sewer pipe is above that. So you're going to have to do something really wacky to catch that thing. Now, I tell you something else that impressed me is the general look of this exterior. The skin is still gleaming. The stickers and decals, they are free of peel and fade. It looks really sharp and really well kept. And here's another more unconventional quality on this one. Take a look at the roof. This has zero rubberized or TPO or anything like that roofing. It is a straight front to back one-piece fiberglass sweep. In that way, it's kind of like, this is sort of like an R-Pod on steroids, if that makes sense. It follows a lot of the same concepts. It's just made a little bit bigger in that 22-foot range versus, R-Pod really does very well in that smaller 16-foot range. They're very good in that little size. A little chilly today, so I had to revert back to night mode for a moment. But, hey, you know what? We don't let a little weather stop us here. Overall, I think this is in pretty good shape. It's got the little thing going on with the flooring. We were right up front with you on that. If we see something, we say something. I think at worst, this needs a very basic hose bath and just small scrubbing on the roof. Short of that, it looks like it's turnkey, ready to go. Plus, you're getting the accessories like the hitching, and I saw some wheel chocks and some stuff in there. Compliments to the previous owners. I don't believe you're inheriting anyone else's misfortune or abuse. It looks good. And if you're looking for something small, light, and taken care of right, do some camping, give us a call. We'll get you rolling. You need financing? I would say you need hitching. You got that on there. If you need it set up, we can assist you with that. Let us know what you need, and we'll get you there. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and have an A1 day, everyone.